Hey, what's up guys? Dragon back again with another edition of the Kaiju Commentary. Today we are watching Kong Skull Island. Now, when you see the legendary logo appearing on your screen, that is your cue to start listening to us. So we're going to kick things off in 3, 2, 1. Hello! Welcome to another edition of the Kaiju Commentary. Today we are watching Kong Skull Island, the second film in Legendary's Monsterverse, but chronologically the first film in Legendary's Monsterverse. AKA, they decided to do a cinematic universe after the fact.
He's just a juvenile.
So this is the latest iteration of King Kong. And I love this opening.
I know.
Okay. The end. It's like, oh. I'm sure that plan's fine.
Yikes.
So funny story, a lot of people go around saying that this is the biggest Kong ever. This is actually the second largest Kong. The largest King Kong was actually 1962 in King Kong versus Godzilla. That one was still larger than this one.
You haven't even seen him yet.
Well, yeah, but
I didn't even know he was in this movie.
The movie's called Kong Skull Island. Like,
I'm so excited for you.
Spoilers,
this is a really
man.
good movie.
Spoilers, King Kong's in this movie. Wait, what? I thought I was watching a period drama. It kind of is.
That's what they call Kong Skull Island.
I gotta look at a guy's face like, seriously, dude? Look how smooth as shit he is. He's like, yeah, I got you.
This feels very Metal Gear Solid.
This is a new Survivor, actually. That's what we're watching, Alex. This is Survivor.
They have guns in Survivor now? That sounds awesome.
It's high-budget Survivor.
I'm gonna watch Survivor. So most of this movie,
Just real life battlegrounds.
I know.
Super method Survivor.
And for everyone who was, that's a good shot. For everyone who was disappointed that in 2014 you didn't get to see a lot of Godzilla, I always felt this opening shot here was kind of a bit of a punchline, because how long is it going to take for us to see King Kong? And if like you're going to see King Kong,
Spoilers! Alex hasn't seen it.
My God! Hey, at some point, Alex, you see a giant ape.
Kaiju.
You're going to see a giant ape in this movie at some point. Surprise!
Could it be King Kong?
Huh?
Could it be King Kong?
It might be King Kong.
Maybe.
Could be Mighty Joe Young, but I'm going to say it's probably King Kong.
That movie.
Oh, God. Don't do this.
That guy's face.
Whoa, shit! To be fair, I mean, no one wakes up
This
with
is
a
when
funny
you
thing.
quickly stab down.
Fuck up. Try to sleep.
Now, some people were saying this is one of Kong's parents, and not Kong himself.
I feel like that would make sense, because...
I don't know. They don't really
I don't know.
confirm it. And there is an actual director's commentary, an official commentary. I know, right?
Who watches those?
And, oh, I love those. Me liking commentaries? Who would have thought? But yeah, and the director, Jordan Von Robert, doesn't specify that that's a Kong or one of his parents, so I don't know. Some people say it's one of his parents, some people say it's Kong. Because you see, more spoilers, Alex, you see the skeletons of Kong's parents, but there's
God
nothing
damn, why can't you just wait?
Oh my God.
How is he
The
supposed
whole
to give
movie's
it
ruined for me now.
honest commentary?
I was already thinking of my fan fiction with Kong's parents and how they raised him.
You can still write that.
You could still write that, I mean.
But he's dead. It couldn't be canon.
Spoiler alert,
Chauncey
Alex.
Riley
Everyone
is in
dies.
And I like how the opening to this movie is similar to 2014, where it's showing you a bunch of footage, but where Godzilla was like pictures, monsters, and stuff. This is about like the world changing, essentially. Because this whole movie, one of the reasons why they also wanted to set this movie in the 70s was because nowadays it would be hard to hide an island, you know, with all the technology we have, even though Skull Island is still out there, so... yeah, even though I guess Skull Island now is under watch by Monarch, but in terms of finding an undiscovered place, people were saying that realistically, it would be, well, wouldn't be realistic if it happened today. But in the 70s, we were finally launching satellites into space. The world was kind of shrinking, and, you know, So this is kind of the last era in which we might still be able to find like a lost world, so to speak.
Was 2014 present day?
Yes. Oh, this first line. And I'm pretty sure that was on purpose. And I love right off the bat we are following Monarch in this movie, because that was my biggest complaint with 2014 is that we didn't get to hang out with as much of the scientists, whereas this movie it's all about Monarch. But because they haven't seen Godzilla since the 50s, Monarch is kind of like a joke organization right now in the government, which is funny because you see later on in in 2014 they're like this super covert, high tech. They get all the fancy toys, and in this movie it's basically just these two.
That tie.
What?
His tie. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a hot tie right there.
It's something. It's a hot something.
Oh, God.
So we have John Goodman here, and I'm a piece of shit because I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but I'm looking him up right now. He played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton.
Dr. Dre?
Yeah, he played Dr. Dre.
I can see that.
Looks like a skull.
Oh my god!
Jeez, guys.
I'm sorry.
Corey Hawkins. I knew it was Corey something, but yeah.
I love him.
So right here, this is in reference to Godzilla. This is all like showing Godzilla's attacks. Now, originally in the script, they were going to actually have a photo of Godzilla, where that shot you see in 2014, where you see his back rising out of the water. And the director actually went to the studio and just fought to not have it in, because while he realized, he says, I know this is like a shared universe, he didn't want it to feel like it was less of a Kong movie.
Yeah.
Even though I kind of still feel it would have been okay to put it in, because it is
it would have been almost like a precursor leading to, since they're going to fight in, what,
2020.
2020? Yeah.
Again, it's a cinematic universe, and I think one picture where you can barely see his back out of the water isn't really like... Because at the end of the day, this whole organization was founded to find Godzilla.
No, I mean, I think...
I mean, it works
probably
either
makes
way.
more sense, because, like, a literal picture of Godzilla and then being like, these things don't exist, then
Well,
makes
they
less
know
sense.
Godzilla exists. That's the only thing we have to confirm.
It seems like Monarch takes it seriously, but...
Well, the
like
government...
this senator...
Well, it's because in this
not.
context, Godzilla hasn't been seen since 54, so this would have been about, like, I don't know how many years since then. I think this is 1971 or something it's taking place. Could be wrong. I'm sorry for all you history buffs out there.
70-something. So
Yeah. But beyond that, and for all they know, they were able to kill Godzilla with the hydrogen bombs in the 50s. They don't actually know what happened to him. He just, they start launching all the bombs, and he hasn't been seen since. So their way they're looking at it is that even if there was something at one point,
it's probably gone.
We haven't seen him, and we haven't seen anything else like it. But I do like it's this whole idea of, the monsters are underground and kind of the hollow earth theory, which is kind of going back to like a journey to the center of the earth, the idea where there's things living in, inside the earth. That's kind of where a lot of these creatures have been hiding.
I like the creatures in this movie, too.
I do, too. And we have Jason Mitchell, who played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. And it's funny, in Godzilla King of the Monsters, that comes out in 2019, O'Shea Jackson Jr., who played Ice Cube in that movie, is in that one. So it's basically just like the whole cast of Straight Outta Compton is in the Monsterverse.
That's weird.
Which I'm okay with. And then we have the man himself.
Mr. Sam. Those sideways pockets.
No, I love this whole thing with him. This whole idea of the whole obviously Vietnam War was like a really kind of hot, sensitive issue. Like a lot of people wanted us out of there, but there was people who did not want to go. And I like kind of like his character is
It's like, if we leave, this is all for nothing. So.
Yeah, and it's almost like because it became such a shit show that he doesn't want to leave, because then it really, it's like you said, at least if we win, we can say no matter how bad it was worth it. But if we go through all that and then just bug out, it really was for nothing.
Yeah, and then like all the lives that were lost, it's like and at his command,
it
was like.
Well, yeah, if they leave, then it wasn't a noble cause.
We got nothing.
You said he's the guy that plays Kong, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name. I got the IMDb up, so I'm trying to get everyone's name. But yes, he's been a lot of things. He's been in Black Mirror. He played Koba in was it Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? But yeah, he plays a human in this, but he also did a lot of the motion control. I know.
He plays a human in this.
In this one, he's a human.
Human.
Toby Kebbell, role human. Yeah, no, but he did a lot of. He did not all of it, but like some of the motion capture, especially for like Kong's face.
Mm.
So he's like over the moon about this because. And that's the thing, too. He's older, so he's like a career soldier. So essentially his whole life has been defined by active service. So when he goes home, who he is as an individual, as far as he's concerned, is kind of over and done with. Where all these other guys are young. They're in their late teens, early 20s. For them, they still have a whole life ahead of them. So they love the idea of being able to go home and, not being dead. And being able to actually start what they feel is their actual life. Whereas for him, he kind of feels like it's the end of his life, basically.
How he's going to leave his legacy.
It's kind of like a Lieutenant Dan thing from Forrest Gump, where Lieutenant Dan was supposed to die in Vietnam because every member of his family died, and so kind of, And then I love that Forrest, like, but, I would say something like, "Oh, now you still are Lieutenant Dan." Like, it was this really nice moment. But yeah, that kind of idea where, I'm supposed to be a soldier, and if I can't be a soldier, I'm better off dead kind of mentality. Which, a lot of guys,
This looks like a fun place.
All right, shit. Maybe I wouldn't want to leave either. Yes, God and country. That's why I want to stay. And we have Tom Hiddleston.
The Hiddles.
Ooh, right in the throat too.
That was really bothering me. That guy's accent. It sounded like he was faking an accent. Never mind.
I love this bit right here. I was so happy when I heard Tom Hiddleston got cast in this movie, because right away I knew that whether people gave a shit about King Kong or a kaiju movie, I know, I knew people were going to go. That's why I say it's smart just to cast, well. I mean, again,
I think they knew what they were doing.
Well,
Just a little.
I mean, I'm happy because he's a damn good actor too, but I'm just saying it's kind of a win-win, because as much as I like King Kong, ultimately I'm a way bigger Godzilla fan. So for me, it's like, okay, I want the MonsterVerse movies to do well, so they essentially just keep making Godzilla movies. So when I heard they cast him in a movie that's part of a cinematic universe that has Godzilla in it, I was like, good, because people will automatically go see this movie.
I love this lighting, by the way. So good.
Brie Larson coming up, who is she's Captain Marvel now.
Yep.
Everyone kept joking that this is the Captain Marvel, Loki, and Nick Fury movie.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel? Is that a person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not a real person. It's a fictional superhero, but
is that a person?
Thanks for the
Is that
clarification.
it's kind of a yes and no
She's
question,
a
really.
man.
Is that a real fictional character? Captain Marvel?
yeah.
Is that an actual figment of someone's imagination?
Shazam used to also be called Captain Marvel.
Yep, and I heard that's why they had to change the name to Shazam.
I don't know if that's why they had to.
I don't know.
Because, I mean, he was Captain Marvel for
why.
a long time.
When you say Shazam, I think Shaquille O'Neal.
I know, right?
I don't think that's...
Hell
Don't
yeah.
take me back to that dark place. No disrespect, Shaq.
Did you guys see the Shazam trailer?
I liked that movie
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
It actually looks good.
Now, there's going to be an interesting bit of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Tension between Brie Larson's character and Sam Jackson's. Because again, she's basically, people like her, Vietnam was the first war that was kind of had uncensored news coverage. And we've never had coverage like that before or even after. And one of the reasons why people...
Public opinion was why the war ended.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and it's people act like and it's funny. Funny, but I've heard vets from like World War II even say like, "Yeah, no, everything you're seeing in Vietnam, we saw just as bad in World War II, or if not worse, on a way higher scale. But in World War II, all the video and pictures, that was all propaganda. It's all our boys marching victoriously into battle, great shots." You know, they didn't really show you what combat looked like. And then Vietnam, they were just showing you just unfiltered. Like, yep, this is what it looks
I
like.
forgot he's in this.
Yeah. Yeah, this bit right here basically kind of sums up the two sides of the issue. Yeah, so... And it's funny, too, when I was a kid and Desert Storm was starting, I remember seeing on the news the first night of the war, like the opening day, and all the footage was just night vision from, like, miles away. And they all said that was on purpose because they didn't want a repeat of Vietnam. They didn't want public opinion to be swayed again, so they made sure that everything was very sterile, very far away, very removed.
Huh? Island surrounded by a storm system?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Dinotopia.
We're gonna bomb.
We're gonna bomb an island for science!
That's the first thing they do?
Yeah.
Is bomb it?
Yep.
Unexplored island.
Not take pictures from really far or check it out, send one guy?
Well, again, it's that whole idea like the hollow. Well, that's the thing, too. He's trying to prove that the Earth is essentially hollow. That's the main goal.
Hollow Earth.
They're not even really worried about finding anything underneath. They just want to see the idea of like, okay, essentially, again, the elephant in the room is where the hell did
Couldn't you
Godzilla
do that
come from?
anywhere though? Like not Skull Island? Technically?
They have...
You
There's
find out.
the whole premise is they have reasons to believe that this would be a good place to
do it.
Yeah, because
Do
again,
some stuff.
John Gooden's character is even saying too, like, yeah, this island is kind of there's legends and mythology about this island. So there's something else going. It's not just an island. There's something else going on there. So they're trying to find proof that basically the world is filled with monsters underground. So here's an island that nobody knows about, and the few people who do never come back from it. I'm digging the whole Farrah Fawcett look right there too, by the way. That's such an awesome leading man name, Captain Conrad.
That sounds like a superhero.
It does sound like a superhero.
Not as cool as Captain Marvel.
Or just Captain Rad. Just
Oh yeah,
No, let that one go.
no, really?
You can watch
I was
it
proud of
a
that
little
one.
bit.
Captain Rad.
Captain Rad. Oh, here we go.
Show me this party.
obviously, too, one of the inspirations for this movie, a little bit, not as graphic, obviously, but it was like Apocalypse Now, that kind of Vietnam era, like, following the guy. Again, not nearly as hard hitting, but.
You're making me feel great, bud.
And then they all died.
Is that gonna happen next?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember we did a trailer reaction for this movie when it came out, and they showed all the shots of all the soldiers posing and laughing. I was like, hey, they're all gonna die.
Undoubtedly, some of them will.
No, I won't believe they all make it.
Is that your dream mustache, Chris? The handlebar mustache? Did you see that one, guys?
Yeah, it's very impressive. Yes, that is my.
It was like a 17th century gentleman, like handlebar mustache. That's like a whole nother level. That's like you could never shave it off. That's like you commit to that one for life.
And I'm sad now.
You would have to.
You would have to.
I think you can shave it off.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the law.
I don't think there's any rule or anything.
No, because once you have that look,
like when you grow that mustache,
you commit to that look.
You grow that mustache, you go to bed, and like some mustache gentleman comes, and like you're now part of.
You can't just show up to work on a Monday with that kind of mustache, and then like on a Tuesday it's gone. It doesn't work.
Go into work.
Although that is something I would do, like if I could.
It's been like forever just growing it out, sculpting its shape. As soon as you get gone,
you should like preserve it when you cut it off, though, so you put it back on the next day.
Yeah, I keep it in a jar.
It's funny, when I found out that they were doing a new Kong movie, I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard it set in the 70s, and my first thought, is this just like a remake of the 1970s King Kong, like Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's okay. But then I heard that it was in the Godzilla continuity, and I was like, oh, okay, they're probably trying to do it before, because that's the thing. In Godzilla, it was clear that the rest of the world did not know about, giant monsters, so this is obviously a secret mission. Oh.
He did scoot. I was like, did he not?
She's just sitting defiantly on his lap.
No, I will not scoot over.
Show you.
Oh, Jurassic Park reference.
Hold on to your butt, sir.
Have fun.
I know, right? I do like how this movie, though, expanded upon like this idea of like not just giant monsters showing up, but like Lost Worlds. It's kind of building up that kind of kaiju continuity where like our world is basically more interesting than we realize it to be.
Yeah, now I just want to know if there's hollow in this.
If there's what?
If the Earth's actually hollow and it's filled with kaiju.
Well, we know it is, because in 2014, that's what they even said.
Oh.
This is how they basically confirm that.
Oh.
Basically, it's because of this movie that in 2014, they are a whale-funded machine.
A whale-funded
A whale-funded... Well, if
A whale is funding them?
Yes.
You see, they go to the office, chair turns around, just big humpback whale. Big cigar in his mouth, expensive suit.
So this seems really stupid.
Breaks the dice.
Oh, I know. I'm like, why wouldn't you take like...
Can you just send one guy in a
100%.
rowboat first?
I know. As it is, it's like, realistically, how would there be a storm around the island?
How's there a giant ape on the island?
I know, okay?
How is anything that makes this movie what it is even real?
Does the ape create the storm?
Yeah.
No, but King Ghidorah can make a storm apparently now in the new continuity. So
This is true.
Oh, maybe
King
King
Ghidorah's,
Ghidorah is responsible for this
He's just sending down a
somehow.
little, or sending up a little energy, I guess.
wait, what? What are you saying?
I said King Ghidorah is sending down a little energy, but I said, well, I guess he'd be sending it up if he's in the Earth.
Yeah.
Well, he's frozen right now
Maybe
in
he's
Antarctica.
calling-
Yeah,
down.
maybe he's frozen under Skull Island.
Yes.
It's calling it down through his frozen subconscious to him to free him.
Well, you guys really thought this through.
Yeah.
Trying to. All I know is this would be awful because there's no doors. That would be my biggest concern.
Well,
Or crashing, you know.
yeah, none about this is supposed to look ideal.
They have seatbelts.
I like how it's pink lightning, though.
I know. Pink lightning, go pink. No.
That bobblehead.
Whoa.
It's magical.
Apparently, I heard that whole shot of the Nixon bobblehead in the storm around it was supposed to be like metaphor for like Nixon and his presidency, just chaos.
Vacation time.
So this movie was predominantly shot in Hawaii and Vietnam.
Awesome.
Actually, the majority of it, I think, was shot in Vietnam.
It's probably good because that's where it takes place.
Well,
Actually, it takes place on Skull Island.
yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's not called skong. Skong.
It's not called skong.
Skong. It's not. It is
It's
not called
Kong
skong,
Vietnam.
and it is also not called skong. So I was not. I was
It's
not
not.
wrong. I was
It's
not
not.
wrong.
It is not
We're
called
not
Technically,
wrong
everything I
about
said was
skong.
correct.
It is not a scalpel.
Bring it back.
Kong is not a scalpel.
Smoke tie.
Woo!
All the birds have like fire breath. They turn
Yeah, I
around.
want to see just all
Oh,
these
shit.
animals just be fucked up. Just see like lizards flying and shit. And now I'm disappointed. It's just birds.
You should be disappointed. There's really nothing interesting that happens on this island.
It's a very boring island.
Now we're in Hawaii.
That thing's gonna transform, right? Nope.
I'm like he's bored because aside from getting a little bit more time here, he's just kind of like
He just rode through a hurricane on his.
yeah. That was probably the highlight
Helicopter.
for him. Like all right, because to him he's just basically like chaperoning, you know, a team of crackpots as far as he's concerned.
Land sad. I'm a deer.
Oh, look at that glorious 70s tech. It's a Sony. Ready for science.
Ready for seismic charges. Bombs.
Going hunting.
So I love.
If John C. Reilly played the explosives guy and he was like the guy from Tropic Thunder, that would have been amazing. I'm still waiting for him to. That wasn't even John C. Reilly. God damn it.
It's so funny. We're on Skull Island. The first animals you see are regular birds, some deer, some cows.
They're hunting.
Practically.
Practically, but not quite.
And all this is just gonna like implode on itself now.
The whole island sinks.
I love this bit.
Boom.
Oh,
Sucks to be you.
I
that was
forgot
not
how.
from an explosion, was it?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I forgot how sudden it was.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's again. It's like the boom. Bitch.
Woo!
Not today, basically. Yeah, so this is like the anti-Godzilla 2014. In a sense, like, no.
Oh my god, that looks rough.
Yeah.
I think it was all one shot, too. It still is. I'm always really impressed when they do that. I know some people think it's gimmicky, but if it's done really well, it's done...
Surprise, motherfucker.
I know, right?
Time to eat.
Oh, that actor.
Respond, Fox 3.
That shot right there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Now that's a big age.
See, right here, this is me when I'm in the department and the other managers and supervisors are walking up to me to give me shit.
Really? This much surprise? Or you're Kong?
No, I'm Kong. It's just like... It's just, everything goes in slow motion.
I'm like, really? You're terrified?
Yeah, you're like,
Here are all the supervisors. Here I am just waiting, ready for it. Bring it. What do you got to say? What do you got to say? Something. Say something.
Yeah, except you don't kill any of them.
I mean, in a perfect world.
we're all gonna live, right? We're all gonna be fine.
Is that a moment?
And that, yep, this is me walking into work. This shot right here sums it all up. That's how I get right there. That's my mindset when I walk into work. Like, "Ugh."
Yeah, what are these fucking helicopters doing here?
Yeah.
That's what I think when I go to work.
Oh, he just looks disgruntled.
But I like how their answer was to just surround him and shoot.
The funny thing is, he was probably literally just out for a walk, and then shit just started exploding around him, and he just got pissed off. Boom!
Go me.
Basically, he like likes them.
That's what she said.
Gross.
Ow.
Look at the look on his face, like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Nominal control.
Roar.
I'm mad.
One of the things, too, people notice right off the bat, too, with Kong is that he is upright. He's not hunched over like basically Peter Jackson's King Kong was. And really, I think with the exception of Peter Jackson's King Kong, by the way, this is supposed to look like a Ava Unit 1 from Evangelion running. The director is a huge anime fan, so a lot of the shots are it's meant to look like shots from different anime, but that's supposed to be like from like Evangelion. But yeah, no, really, this is all the films. Because he was usually a guy in a suit or stop motion, he was always upright. So now that they can do a perfectly anatomically correct gorilla, I thought it was really interesting that they basically made him look more like a kaiju, where he's upright.
Yeah.
So he really does feel like the Toho Kong, just modernized.
I like how their answer was to hide around that stuff.
I mean, it worked out so well. Oh.
Ow.
Save him. Catch him. Oh.
Oh.
I mean, they caught him, but
Oh, he broke the propellers.
not as much as the propellers broke him.
Yeah, bubblehead.
Oh, when you just hear the footsteps. It's just funny too, because for Kong, this is just like him swatting
Fucking
him. Like
2 for 2.
this is him just really pissed off and annoyed. This is his morning just being
The
fucked
thing
up.
is, I'm like, why are they even still in the area? They could have just flown
Left.
up. I know.
Well, they have.
When
It's because the helicopter's getting downed, and then
They have to go help him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just pure chaos.
When you like
They're-
describe the island where ships disappear flying into it, that's where I would have been like, nah, we don't need to fly into there. I'll go by rowboat.
Sam Jackson.
Oh god. Not like this.
We've all been there at that look on their face where it's like, this motherfucker. But one of the things I like too in this film is that how Kong fights. One of the ways he's going to differentiate himself between him and Godzilla is that Godzilla is more just, brawny grappler, just kind of, oh, this is dope right here. I like how Kong uses like things. Like Kong will like create tools and weapons, and which makes him a different kind of fighter. Whereas Godzilla just is like gonna just grab you and bite you and just bare knuckle you. Where Kong will like take a chunk out of a building and just like lop it at your head, basically. Conflict resolution.
Wait, Kong's not in King of Monsters, right?
No. I think they said they're going to allude to him, and people are a lot of people are suspecting a post-credit sequence.
Mm.
But no, he's not going to be in the movie. Now, there is a comic book series that takes place, that serves as a sequel to this. It takes place, I think, in the 90s or early 2000s, where they go back to the island. And Kong is now, like, I think, pretty much fully grown. He's like, yeah.
Does now.
I like that guy.
I know. I feel he's kind of like the voice of the audience, just kind of saying all this shit that we're like. These guys are looking like.
Fucked up.
I know, we have seen some shit.
Not to mention they all were supposed to be going home.
Yep. So it was like, oh, one more gig, one more, and it's always like, it's almost cliche, like, oh, this is just a quick little easy thing, last thing, and it's like, nope, that's what gets you.
Big ass monkey.
Technically, he's an ape.
Listen, I'm just quoting what's his face.
Oh, what's his face doesn't have a name now?
I don't remember him. His name.
Well, neither do I, but that's besides the point.
Him. Billy's dad. That's how I remember his character. Ew.
That's what they was wrecking him. Let's analyze that statement for a moment. Just the surreality of it.
Yeah, that was an unconventional encounter.
Just imagine finding yourself in a situation in your life where the words, "We just got taken down by a monkey the size of a building," has to come out of your mouth. Your life is either complete shit or really awesome at that point.
I do like how the movie shows like everybody coping with what just happened.
Yeah.
In like completely just different ways. Like they're...
Well, I think that's the thing, too. In 2014, Monarch knew about the monsters. So even though it was surprising, for the most part, the majority of the people who were seeing them were, like, aware of them. Whereas this is essentially kind of like where we're at, where it's like, we know there's no such things as giant monsters. So what happens when you see a giant monster? Especially the way they saw it, too. They weren't looking for that. They just went...
them.
They just went to an island, you know, just to go there, and suddenly there's a big-ass fucking 100-foot ape. You're like, oh, what? Kind of feels like a conversation I used to have with some of my relatives. Well, it starts off innocent enough, but before you know it, you feel like you're looking down the barrel of a gun. Like, wait a minute. Yeah, like, yeah, we caught up that. And his character, Red, is interesting too, because you feel for him where Dr. Serizawa was more about like the thrill of discovery, trying to understand. You feel like for him, this is more like a personal quest. Like he is. Yeah, so for him, this is more like a vendetta. Where Serizawa sees these things as incredible, like, feats of nature. And he sees them as just purely monsters. So their motives are very different. He wants Monarch to succeed because he wants us to kind of seek and destroy these things, whereas Serizawa wants to preserve and understand them.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston should have been a Monarch in the other movie.
I know. I keep hoping somehow he survived off camera.
Because they didn't show him actually die.
Hey, post-credit sequence, you never know. Just kind of our little studio, or like a Princess Mononoke kind of moment, where the idea of like some of the animals on this island are essentially kind of extensions of nature.
Oof. There's no way that thing can see right now.
I just love the design of that.
His horns, pretty badass.
I need to touch it. I need to have. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
touch the
did.
gun. And I love the symbolism there, like lower the gun, raise the camera. Basically, it's kind of like a.
I'm gonna go back in the water now.
It's essentially what Monarch is becoming. Again, Randa right now basically is running Monarch, and he wants it just to be like a way to find and hunt monsters. But ultimately, what it's going to be is, you know, a way to understand them. And now we're starting to see his character kind of unravel, basically.
Is everyone looking at him like a crackpot now?
Well, that's the whole thing again. Like, he never wanted to leave Vietnam. He never wanted to feel like they abandoned something. So for him, Kong almost becomes his war.
I
Kong,
like how he's the crazy man now, though.
yeah. Well, because he's like,
That's
no,
their
I'm
job.
gonna fucking finish
Kill
one
this
thing
thing,
if
yeah.
it's the last thing I do. Oh, this part.
His mom sounds awesome.
Oh, this is one of the creepiest parts in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Savages?
No, you wish. It's nasty. It's a big nasty.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, was that a leg?
Yep.
Oh no!
So
Right?
basically, it's camouflage. Its legs look like bamboo shoots, so it basically like kind of stand. And again, like the water buffalo, it's like an extension of its environment.
Oh.
Except it's got that nastiness. Whatever the fuck that is. Nasty grabbers.
Oh
I'm
god.
going to die.
Dude. So I still think this is like the scariest thing on the island.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like, no, I'll go fight King Kong any
Is this
day.
just Australia?
I know! Oh god.
This is like a big tourist commercial for the Outback.
That would have hurt
What's the
so
name of the
bad.
spider from Monster
Falling
Island?
on your back like that, just
Oh,
I think I would have been
Kumonga,
happy to
yeah.
not
Yeah,
be
this is like
in a
their
spider
Kumonga.
mouth right now.
yeah. I'm
Ironically,
just
I think
saying.
this one's more terrifying.
Definitely has the wind knocked out of him.
Fucking nasty.
Ah.
And now burn it.
so an arthropod that
It's gonna
size,
come back to
Why
life.
is his eye
Rob-
bloody?
it's bloodshot from impact.
It's a
Yeah,
burst.
he crashed a helicopter.
But his eye was like that.
Why does he even still
Yeah.
have an eye?
Yeah, like
It's a just like a blood vessel bursting.
Yeah.
I think like what it could have been caused by, and the
So I was gonna say, when they were on the boat all shirtless having their party, it was like that too. And every time I see it, I'm like, why?
I mean, he was in war, so.
I guess. It just like, it looks so freaky.
I mean,
It's icky.
it's icky.
Well,
You
but
have
yeah,
like
yeah.
a thing with eyes, so I'm surprised it doesn't gross you out more.
Well, I mean, if they just lingered on it for like 30 seconds, maybe, but.
Oh man, I love this part.
The show stealer shows up in the show. He shows up in the show to steal the show. Hence the name Show Stealer.
Okay.
See where I'm going with here, people?
shut up.
They're gone. They left.
I see what you're going for, and I hate it, and I want you to die.
I don't hate it. I hate you.
Yes.
get that clear.
If it come out of anybody else's mouth, I would have been totally fine with it. But because it's you, burn in hell.
Oh! There are savages! Okay.
They are savages. No, they're not.
Aren't we the savages?
Oh,
They're people,
Yeah.
Alex. People.
They cut them all up, start eating them alive. Never mind.
I like the camouflage.
Listen,
I know.
maybe they're just, artists, and they put a lot into this whole flash mob.
There he
The guy's
is.
got a barcode on his forehead. Why was he the leader of these people?
What makes you think he's the leader?
I know.
I think he's the leader.
By the way, I love how they kind of do with the animals inside, where they get their extensions of environment. So this is one of the two gentlemen we
Those
see.
guys look a lot less threatening back behind him.
Yeah. So obviously that giant ape did not kill them in the beginning of the movie. And I love too that the 70s would have not been so long after World War II where you could see a vet from World War II who's still kind of, youngish. This part is so sad. God, you really feel for the guy too. Like, he is like the heart and soul of this movie. A lot of people thought it might be like too weird to have like a comedic character like John C. Reilly in this film, but no, he is really like, yeah. Order of the day.
Or ever. He's got it the worst, fucking by himself. Oh, my.
Yes, he does have it the worst.
Oh, he's in the water. Things are gonna swim up his dick.
Oh,
Yes, a giant ape is gonna swim up his
if
dick.
he starts peeing,
Giant ape.
What happened? I started peeing in the water and suddenly King Kong swam up my dick.
King Kong just
Oh, God.
Swim
Never
straight up
pee
the
in
stream.
Skull Island.
Never.
Because a Kong will swim up your dick. It's the damnedest thing. I love how Kong just struts. He's just a big dude. He's like, ah.
he like owns this place.
Yep. It's like the landlord just
So the irony is he's playing against himself, right?
right here, yeah, essentially.
I love this part.
I feel there's almost like moss in his fur if you look closer to green.
Mm.
Again, people who say that CGI does not look as good as a practical effect. I mean, once upon a time that was a valid argument, but you look at like the effects in this movie. Look how Kong. Look at the detail of his fur. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I've got a lot of love for practical effects. I grew up on them, but if they are to be replaced, and this is what we're replacing them, to me, it's a worthy successor.
What the fuck?
Lunch came to me.
So I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a homage to, again, Godzilla or King Kong versus Godzilla, where Kong in that film fought a giant octopus. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, they literally just basically remade that scene.
Calamari.
Yep.
I know. Tasty.
Oh my god.
But I love how it shows you just how like savage this island that for him to get a snack, it's automatically has to be a battle. Like
He was walking around a little too human-like. They needed him to chomp down on an octopus.
I like the scars on him.
Yeah.
Across his chest there.
It's like, get the fuck out.
Oh, what the fuck?
And here we have the wall that is kind of famous in all of King Kong mythology. which is the ironic because in most of the films, that's
what?
He just
What'd you say?
killed all of our.
Well, I was gonna say usually in all the other films, like Kong was the main reason they would always have the one. I love how they're basically saying, "Yeah, no, he's not a problem. You just leave him alone. He leaves you alone." It's literally everything else.
I love these people too.
I know. Well, apparently, the idea behind them is that if their form of language is so ancient that essentially they've learned basically to communicate complex thoughts and ideas with very simple gestures. Like they don't really use a lot of audio. They're that sophisticated now, where their second hand with themselves is so like finite that in a certain situation, a certain head nod can tell them like give an entire explanation of something, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh shit. This jacket's still holding up.
I know, right?
I love that line. And again, I love the ruins are like the ruins of like ships from our world, like. And it's a clever take on like kind of a lot of the classic Kong iconography. Which I knew too. The director even said too. But when he was offered the job, he even said, "All right, you're making another King Kong movie. Why?" Like he said, if we couldn't do something really different with it, there was no point in making another one because they didn't want to just kind of repeat what has been done before. I love how they shot all this.
Mm.
Shit.
So what is he protecting them from? That's the question.
From us, right? Society.
From our sense of self-destruction.
Yes, he teaches a class every Thursday.
He's got like a seminar.
Yeah.
Self-help class.
Remember, love thy neighbor. He spreads the gospel.
Yep. I love that whole bit too. Is basically like, again, the whole Vietnam thing, the whole.
Hmm. Okay.
Again, just the whole idea of like how do all these kaiju get their name in movies? Like where does it come from? It's just somebody,
Just some guy who hasn't talked to a person in 30 years.
I know.
Skull
crawlers.
crawlers.
Oh, creepy. Oh, they have no legs.
Yeah, they're really fucking weird looking.
They're similar to something that was, I believe, in the original 33 Kong, but otherwise, yeah, they're kind of a wholly new design for the most part.
And then Godzilla shows up.
Godzilla's in this?
No.
No. Surprise! He was supposed to have a post-credit sequence or cameo, but they decided not to do it because they were like, it ruins the continuity. So like, yeah, he hasn't visually been seen. They made that really clear in 2014. Since 54.
Unless.
Oh.
I know.
Gee, I wonder what lives in the water.
It's like my worst nightmare.
There were so many things that didn't make it in the movie. They did like a like a bunch of monarch files that were like of different creatures all over that, and there was like a giant like tick that was like the size of a fucking elephant in the water.
Remember how you wanted flying lizards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm so glad I wished for that earlier.
I know, when you said that, I was like...
I know. Just wait.
This is a good decision that he makes right here.
Apparently there was a sequence they cut out of the movie that I can't remember why he said they cut it out, but they were walking in a dense forest, and he saw one of those things, and he shot it like that, and suddenly you realize that all the foliage on the trees were just thousands of those.
Well, I mean, that's...
But it was like an entire jungle section where suddenly they were all bare trees. Everything was bare, but you thought that was just dark foliage.
Yeah.
And it was all of them. And I'm like, that would have been an amazing visual.
Hard to do, probably. But
I can't remember why I didn't do it, but that's basically meant to be kind of like that, just like times 100 was what that whole sequence was going to be.
I would not walk in the water in
I
Australia.
know. So
You might,
nasty.
well, they might not have a choice.
And I saw Buggy.
Buggy.
There she is.
I love he's just been...
She's got an engine on that thing?
Yeah, I mean, he's been just, like, salvaging parts from, like, wrecked planes and whatnot, like...
He's just sitting there waiting for a plane to crash every day. The Gray Fox.
I kind of feel like this is, like, his muscle car that he's been just... Him and his buddy were just been working on.
His dad have been renovating in the garage. Yeah.
I feel so bad for Gunpei.
Who the fuck's Gunpei?
He was the Japanese guy
Oh.
that he said he got eaten by the skull
Have you
crawler.
been watching the movie?
Is John C. Reilly supposed to be the guy from the beginning?
Yes! Did he? Wow!
I didn't know this was that
Literally
specific guy.
said it
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Well, he was like his friend Gunpei.
How am I supposed to know who the fuck Gunpei is?
Well, because
And he was alluding to fighting in World War II, which was clearly... I mean, it was pretty obvious.
That guy does not look like a young
and
John.
I
It
think
was
the kicker
pretty,
is the fact that he's
And there was
wearing
also the
an
fact that
outfit.
I just said it too. You know?
I don't pay attention
There was-
to a lot of things you say.
I
To be
understand.
fair, I'll give it a pass because we're talking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't catch half the movie, but...
I love this. It's funny. And again, I love how they're not doing like the primitive savages, the evil natives. I love how they're probably more civilized than
They're
we
very
are.
cultural people. They have,
Yeah, they're very like, all right, you know.
they're like monks, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. They got the whole bohemian thing going on, and they're chill.
I know.
But then again, I kind of feel living on this island would humble the shit out of you real
Yeah.
quick.
Let's not fight each other because
Literally everything else will. Oh, I love all the flies.
I don't. It's fucking nasty.
But I'm just saying, from like
yeah.
How long would it have taken them to build that village, to build the wall like
I think
that?
Kong helped them.
Really?
No.
Colin
Well-
Gosso Carpenter.
I mean,
He
they
just
must have lived
dropped
there for
off a bunch
long
of trees
time.
for him.
This is one thing I didn't get. Is this supposed to be one of the helicopters come through? Like, how did this...
Through, or like, you know, when
This
kind
could
of
be a different bison.
flying off.
You know?
Well, I figured it is.
Yeah.
I think so, but...
Well, yeah, no, those
Yeah,
helicopters
this
are
is
going
actually
everywhere.
the same bison that
Yeah.
crashed in a plane 40 years ago.
Still under that damn.
20 or 25 years ago or whatever.
I like how she thinks she's gonna do
I
it.
mean,
She's kind of...
She's like, I need to kick into my mom's
I mean-
strength.
It's moving. A little bit.
Was it?
It's jiggly.
Even though that thing would be so powerful, I feel like it wouldn't be super trapped.
I mean, those helicopters are heavy. It's just metal.
Thanks, lass.
And it's injured.
Bitch, I'll swat you like a fly.
What's up, Kong?
You don't help my animals. Only I help them.
I kind of feel she should have flinched right there a little bit.
Yeah.
She probably didn't even realize it happened.
Myself right now.
And one of the things about Kong, not being as giant as Godzilla is, and kind of being a more social animal, like he's taking
a juvenile.
Well, yeah, but he's taking an interest in the people that he cares. Whereas Godzilla, when he was like right next to people, he fucking was oblivious.
No reason to care about people.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I think people are saying is Kong smart. Like I don't think Kong is smart. I think Kong is empathetic. Kong is curious about us. Godzilla does not care about us. He sees us and look. Kong is like a dog. He's curious about you. A cat understands you. It just doesn't give a shit. I love how Kong high-fived that mountain.
I was gonna say, I like how he's so happy about that, but like, dude, do you see how fucking huge?
Well, and that's kind of that. Well, that's the point. It's like he's not seeing it for what it is. He's just seeing like, hey, we heard it, and everyone else saying, okay, yeah. That's basically like giving a paper cut on like your hand. Yeah, you're bleeding, but it's not gonna kill you. Again, see, that's the whole thing. The whole idea of like, we need to kind of just leave these things alone because they've been here for so long, and if they wanted just to destroy the world, they just would have. So we're essentially going after them now and essentially instigating them. Like, these people died because we went to Skull Island. Kong didn't come to us. I think this is ad-lib too, right here. They said a lot of John C. Reilly stuff is ad-libbed. I just love all this shit. I just love all that.
Why the fuck would you do that?
I just love how he's just taking the song and like, well, that's neat.
He probably still thinks they're a dream, which is sad.
This poor dude.
Yeah, I wonder how many times this has happened in his head. John C. Reilly's character is just like smoking like that shit that grows on the island, and he's gonna come off. He's like, oh wait, no, you guys are actually real. Oh my god.
I feel like you would have known that thing was alive.
Not necessarily.
Would he?
You don't know how those things sleep.
You never know when a log is a grasshopper.
But it'd be like a giant bug, so.
Yeah, but see how still bugs can be.
Yeah, but you still like feel it or smell it.
They might not like pulse or anything. It's just a tree.
I mean, the whole jungle probably smells.
Yeah.
Gross ass stick bug. It's like, how did you get the fuck out of here? Apparently.
Is this his first time seeing anything? Oh shit!
Oh.
No.
Bye, buddy.
Okay. Well,
Now he's just King
I don't
Kong.
need to ask that question anymore.
That's why the stick bug was leaving. He was like, I don't want blood on me.
This would be an interesting thing too, like introducing to music, like they would ever, because he would have been a pre-rock and roll.
Yeah.
So not even just like old rock, but like rock in general. It's kind of a weird thing to think about.
I'd be like, dude, I've been here
Yeah.
too long. Shut up.
I know,
Yeah,
like
he kinda is.
for you.
Yeah, that sucks. Talk to me in 30 years.
No.
He is fucking happy.
See, the way he plays a character, he could easily be like really creepy and unlikable. It's like a fine line, and I think it just comes down to just how John C. Reilly like approaches it, because you can really see how hit or miss a character like that could be.
Oh yeah.
Because we've all seen in movies where you have characters like that where you see what they're going for, and it just it doesn't work. It's just ugh. But no. I actually don't even think they were expecting him to be this lovable, but everyone walked away saying they just loved his character in the movie.
That's sad. Not really.
Spot on. I thought like Hiddles was right here.
Hiddles.
So I was calling him now, Hiddles. Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddles.
Hiddles.
Tom Hiddleston. My friends call me Hiddles. Mm-hmm. Nope. You know, like we did with Vietnam.
Look how Kong is just...
Stargazing,
Yeah.
being sad and shit.
I was gonna say, you think of like his family is lost. You know, he's
These
all
rest of
assholes
his kind.
show up on my island.
I know, like everything basically is antagonistic to him.
Except for his people here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he's not like
Well, yeah.
interacting. Basically, he just appreciates them because they just don't do anything to him.
Now you would have gotten it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what? He's a guy?
Looks heavy.
Yeah, I love how charming this movie is too. Like how creative everyone has to be. I don't know. It's
I like all the characters.
yeah.
Even the ones you kind of hate, like Sam Jackson.
Yeah, because his
He's a
character.
good antagonist.
Yeah. Because you get his character too,
Yeah.
where why he's again a lot of these bigger characters are essentially metaphors for. You know, it's strange that usually kaiju are metaphors for bigger issues, and it's interesting that in this film it's the humans that are metaphors for the issues.
It's so weird. He doesn't know like a single person's name.
Apparently, they don't have names. If you look at all their markings are unique to each individual. And apparently, basically, the markings represent them, so they don't recognize themselves by a verbal name. They recognize themselves by the markings. So the markings that they each have is their
It's just
name.
weird being him just leaving like, oh yeah, known you guys 30 years. Can't really say anything
So,
to any of you in
yeah.
particular.
No, but they are saying.
Well, yeah, it's just if the language barrier is that there is no language, and that is the barrier because we're so used to communicating in one way, whereas they communicate in a completely different way. So it's not a matter of just learning a language.
So that if you're ever in Chicago, look me up.
I know.
Apocalypse Now shots.
This movie has gone completely like I thought we were gonna be like in New York with like King Kong jumping on buildings and
No,
shit.
oh no, this movie. Well, again, because it's a prequel, technically,
It's not called Kong, New York.
Skong, sorry.
Skong.
It's not called Skong.
Skong, New York.
Yikes.
Jungle.
And I love the kind of the
Run
yellow
through the jungle.
sepia lighting they use a lot of times too. It makes you feel very 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I know they were saying for 70s they use a lot of.
Vietnam was actually fought in sepia.
Well, another thing in terms of color schemes, like the 70s are kind of known for like that sepia orange. The 80s are kind of known for like blue, and apparently the 90s had more red. Yeah, read books and shit.
Yeah.
He's a science writer.
I'm a library.
What's that? Never
library
mind.
stud.
God, this is so fucking sad.
Wait,
What?
is this about to happen? Is he his son?
No.
Okay,
No.
never mind.
His dad was with the Royal Air Force, so
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
missed
you
that.
can tell that the accents are different.
yeah.
Maybe
Alex, you're not. You need to focus up.
I still believe it could.
Do you know what movie we're watching
I
right
still believe
now?
it could happen. All right, I'm not losing hope yet.
Is this Pulp Fiction? What are we watching? I don't know.
Oh wait, they all know each other?
Great Santa Claus. I'm on a plow.
It's not that far.
Oh.
You're not going
But
home.
they're so small.
Strong little buggers. It just makes me think of Jurassic World.
Which those would not have been strong enough to pick her up either.
Yeah.
You're just like, stop.
Oh.
Stop. He's
That
fine.
guy was kind of an ass, to be fair.
We can't get stuck here. Well, at least he won't be stuck here.
I know.
He'll be stuck there and there and there.
That dude's dead.
I call a spot on the boat.
That could have been any one of us.
It'd be just so weird to live in a time where World War II was not a super long time ago. I mean, it's still a while, but it's like...
No.
Not really. Like,
I mean,
because the guys like that fought in World War II would. Well, yeah. I mean, like he's a dad.
it's
like,
a generation, basically.
Like his,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, his kids like.
Hank Marlowe, that's right, that's his name.
Oh my god.
I love
that
it
part.
so much.
I always think that kills me in all the trailers.
I know.
Again, I just love how just like he is just blatant honesty. The way everyone just reacted.
Well,
He,
it's like
he
even
really
says
probably
there-
thought he was thinking that or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's like he even says earlier, you can't tell when he's speaking or just thinking.
Yeah. What fucking caused this shit?
So okay, so here's my thing. Now they say Kong is still growing, because obviously he's going to be bigger when he fights Godzilla. I mean, I don't think anyone's expecting him to be as big as Godzilla. He wasn't even in '62. But unless that's one of those things where his race, his species, basically most of them would kind of die before they reach full size, based on kind of their ecology. I'm like, his parents aren't any bigger than he is now. That's what I'm kind of wondering.
Well, I don't know if those are like his literal parents.
No, it is. Those were his actual parents. There's a shot in I think the cover of the first comic book, or the second one, is them in this pose, but it's right after they died, and Kong is like a baby, like crying in between them. Again, the only thing I'm thinking about is because Kong essentially was left undeterred and he no longer had any natural predators, that he was allowed just to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and where his species normally would die by being killed by something never happened, so he kept just getting larger. That's why a lot of animals in captivity grow bigger than they do in the wild, because
Oh god.
yeah, we got that.
Idiots.
Such a cool like green like tint to that. I love that.
Yeah. Mood lighting.
I know.
That's my thing. I'm like, I know you guys are like, oh, let's take a shortcut, but I'm like, you really want to go through where these giant creatures
With
like
the
Kong?
fog.
Well, they're on a time limit.
Yeah.
Because they have to get him
Oh, yeah.
and get all the way to the other side of the island in a certain amount of time. And this is the only way.
Fuck that guy.
Well, they knew he was dead already, maybe.
And it's weird too, because where you think their eyes are, they're not.
It's his nose.
It's kind of like an orca, where the big white patch is meant to look like a big eye to like scare away other things, but yeah, no, the eye is positioned like kind of behind it.
That's gross.
We've all been there, folks. No, this is the only part of the movie where I'm
It's
kind of
very
like,
convenient.
I know.
yeah, I'm like, that's just a little, and I let stuff go a lot, because I'm usually the guy who's like, it's a movie, let it go.
The exact same monster who ate him.
But that's just a little, for me, too perfect. Like, I would have been like, okay, you find...
No, I mean, it makes... I don't know. I mean, because...
It gives it away, obviously. But,
Well, because they're headed towards where his location was.
But I think
it
if you-
just recently happened. And they don't all come... Like, these monsters have come up.
yeah, but the fact that the
Not
dog
in-
tag was right... I think that maybe they would
Yeah.
have found, like, an arm or a leg, and next to it, like, a big footprint. Kind of like, oh, okay, you can kind of deduce.
I love
No.
that reaction. Oh shit.
No.
John Goodman, everybody.
He just sounded so like, well,
Would you be able to see the light from within inside of it?
Well, yeah, because we can.
So, okay, so here's my thing. So, the director said he did not want to put dinosaurs in the movie because all the Skull Island, Kong would usually have dinosaurs. So he didn't want to do the same. So I'm like, okay, but what's wrong with dinosaurs? But, I'd take a Triceratops over a water buffalo, but that's not here nor there. But I'm like, okay, but that's a non-fossilized Triceratops skull. So
Yeah.
obviously they are, or at least were,
yeah.
in
Maybe that's his
recent
way of
recorded. Yeah.
having it but not having it.
Unless they're trying to implying too that the skull Carl's like kill them all, like.
That's kind of what I always assumed.
Because it seems like all the animals that are there now, like blend in with the environment. They're all like the extension of the environment. That's why they're able to survive because they blend into it. Whereas the dinosaurs might have been like not been able to blend in.
Woo!
Oh my god. I feel like there'd be explosions everywhere the way that cigarette went up. Gunfire all over the place.
I think it's because they're not right over the like little fume.
Yeah, those little pockets where it's coming up.
I mean, you know, it's when it's convenient, Alex.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bring out the flamethrower.
Get it. Oh.
Ow.
Uh-oh.
He got.
Ouch.
Parkour. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Just like when everything wants to kill you. God, I just love the way those things move.
I hate how they don't have back legs.
I think it's kind of what makes it unsettling because they don't look natural.
Father and son, right there. See that synergy?
This is the one thing I always was like, I don't know, man.
I think this shot was meant for IMAX.
I was gonna say this is very much like
A
the
3D.
Fan servicey scene here.
This is all meant to be in 3D. Again, if you we didn't see this.
I don't know. I love it.
I mean, it's cool, but yeah, we never saw this movie in 3D.
Well, not to mention it's one of those things where you know,
just chopping everyone.
and not everyone knows how to use a sword.
Well, I mean, it kind of prefaced with the first scene that we see him that he's kind of good with hand-to-hand combat.
Hey, he's Captain Rad.
I know, right?
Well,
Captain Rad can do
he
anything.
Forgot about that.
hit a pool ball out of the air with a broken pool cue
True.
directly into a guy's face.
I
That was
don't
thrown
remember
at
that
him.
scene at all.
What?
I don't remember that happening at all.
It was the first scene we saw.
You
I
haven't
just
been
forgot
watching
about
the
I
it.
movie.
apparently haven't.
You've been
watching
staring
this
at the
movie.
wall this whole time, apparently.
Try watching a movie with your eyes open.
Yeah.
Give that a go. Blow your mind,
They
brother.
are open. They're racist.
Wow. Touche. I mean, that was a good comeback, but
I was
seriously,
afraid he was going to take it there. I almost threw that for him.
I can't even be
I
mad.
thought it, but I was like, I'm not gonna be that person. I'm
I
better
can't
than
even
that.
be mad at you for that. That was just good. The comedic timing on that was just
Because actually,
on.
if we say it, we're racist.
I
I
know.
know. That's why Alex stepped up. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you for making that a very racist, self-deprecating joke. We really appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for.
To tell the jokes that we can. I mean, hey, he gave it the old try. Again, so it's really just the difference between, again, career soldier and just, you know, the young guy who just had to do his tour of duty. And he can see too that he's seen it before. He realizes that he's coming
Your
on
ass
right.
is crazy.
Again, the trick is basically to let him always feel like he's in control. Don't order him to do anything. Make it feel like it's his decision. Because that's the whole point. He needs to feel like he's in control of something.
And I love how they're even like, God damn it. We don't want to, but we
Who
don't want
wants to go fight that thing? Oh god.
Well, again, it's kind of
I like
like
how the science nerd is like not running. Dude. Run.
well, it's kind of like you're
Use your big
He's
brain.
losing his grip.
Well, it's like, okay, do you stay with the guy who's crazy but has all the guns, or who wants to go fight the giant, ape, or do you go with the people who are making the sound decision, but they're kind of far and few in between? Again, it's a situation where it's basically vanity and pride over common sense. It's like the longer you guys are here, the more of you keep dying. It's a no-win situation. But this is a guy who basically would literally rather die than go back deeming what he feels is a failure. Because for him, there's nothing left for him. It feels like in the world. Whereas these guys, they have again their whole lives ahead of him. So he's essentially sacrificing all of them.
Let's not go that way.
Oh, is the ant bit coming up here? They're right here. I just love that bit. I love that they didn't even have to show it now because they've showed you that the version of everything on this island is horrifying and scary.
Yeah. Now at this point, like your own imagination makes the ant more scary.
Exactly. They don't even have to say. All they have to do is say there's an ant in the tree, and right away you have like this.
It's big and it makes that noise.
Yeah, and they're
go nuts.
It actually makes a noise. I don't like that.
It's a fucking ant.
It makes me wonder if like little ants are making noises, but they're just so small we can't hear
we don't hear them. So that record player that was, all distorted and fucked up sounding, that was basically meant to be Sam Jackson's character coming unraveled. Like something that was normal that is now distorted.
Let's make big old gas pipes.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
Flaming gas piles? Pools? Not piles. I'm done.
Flaming gas piles. Alright, yeah. Physics, right?
I like how it's completely dark now, so they were hiking that long.
Well, I mean, it's probably dusk and, stuff.
It can turn night kind of quick sometimes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, I love how they did like the cat eye.
Even though apparently the editor of the effects guy was really against doing that, and the director really had to push for it because technically, it doesn't make sense how the lighting would work. But he goes, yeah, but it's one of those times where it looks cool, so do it.
Sometimes that trumps it.
Well, yeah, and he even said that's literally what it is. Because the cool factor outweighed the reality factors. He said, "Fuck it, do it anyway."
Then
because
again, this whole movie, it's kind of like.
Well, yeah, you're debating the eye shine on the giant ape. That's unrealistic that his eyes would do that. As we're talking about a 100-foot ape.
It's unrealistic that his eyes would exist.
Dude, he would smell so bad.
Well, I think at this point everything just smells. They've just kind of
It's
a
true.
Probably just smells like everything else there.
Yeah.
It's a big ol' ass.
Yeah.
They're not touching his ass.
Yeah, but it would just smell like ass.
You don't know that.
Maybe he's very hygienic.
Yeah, he saw him in some water earlier. He probably was washing his ass. He squatted down in it.
Like he's got a nice house somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like a regular.
He's got a big ass condo somewhere on the island.
He uses a waterfall as a bidet. Listen.
How would that work? He's doing a handstand, or?
Maybe he can make it work.
Maybe.
But
He found an area where it's kind of like
Stop yourself.
a shallow
Just
you really want
let
me to
it
stop?
go.
drop.
Stop thinking about it because I want to stop thinking about it.
He's even disgusted with me. He's like, I'm gonna leave now. You made me uncomfortable.
In stranger danger moments, Colin's like, I'm out.
He's like, God damn these motherfuckers.
I know, right? He's just like, shit. I just want to go to bed. You guys are bringing down the property value.
And he's just like,
oh, this is Ahab. He's
I know.
Ahab right here. He's gonna
fucking
get
poor
that white whale.
guys.
Now here comes what they call the Dragon Ball Z moment because Kong looks like Unuzaru.
Yeah.
And when the director basically said that, I was like, oh my god, you could totally do the Uzaru now, live action. Because if you just extend Kong's muzzle and give him more of like a canine-esque muzzle, that's what a live action Uzaru would look like. Plus a tail, but.
I love him.
Damn.
Death before dishonor.
Yeah, right here. With the full moon behind him, yeah, he purposely designed this to be like his Dragon Ball Z shot. And I love that he makes all these, he purposely admits to all these anime references, that he's just a big anime fan. Which I'm just like, if they ever take another stab at a live action Dragon Ball Z movie, man, I think this is our man. They're like,
Yep, I'd be running.
We done fucked up.
Gotta say, the fact that he's nuts enough to just sit there.
Well, again, I don't think he's afraid of dying. I think he's literally just like, if the worst thing that can happen to me is I die, then so be it. And that's the point. He's essentially saying he hates Kong because he killed his men, but he's putting his men in more danger by doing this.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't care about the men. He's just using them as an excuse for this own quest for glory.
Since John Goodman's dead, no one's there to speak reason.
Now he's doing the fist like Kong Jr.
Yeah.
Beginning.
Well, again, anyone who speaks reason, he puts a gun in their face. And fuck this. Oh.
Yeah, that would blow. Bye-bye.
Oh dear.
Again, it's one of the perks of having a slightly smaller kaiju is that they can take shit more personally. Ooh. Oh, I love the sparks and embers that go up when he hit the ground, too, off his face. I see what you did there.
It's time to show Kong. It's not scum.
Where the fuck did you just come up from?
He's a ninja.
I know.
To be fair, there's a lot of stuff happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a guy where he's committed, man.
I love that.
Oh, God.
Classic Sam.
So on brand for Sam Jackson.
Bitch, please.
I just love the whole cast. Like, I know there were some people who said they didn't like the movie or they didn't like the way the people were. I'm like, this movie's fucking great. The cast is really
So they don't like good movies.
I don't know. When people say shit like that, I'm just like, what the fuck do you want? Like, the joke I always make is that not everything is going to be Citizen Kane, folks. And if I'm going to be completely real with you guys, I'd rather watch Kong Skull Island than Citizen Kane. So it's like, I don't know. People just need to chill out. I think we live in a time where people like to be negative. They like to complain. It's not cool just to be like, you know what? I came to see a movie about a giant ape that just fucked shit up, and I got exactly what I paid for. And I don't know. I'm cool with that. Like, this movie
I got more than I paid for.
Well, yeah, I mean, this movie gives me exactly what I wanted. Hey! Like, I just leaped.
Big Mama's awake. I like how it like came out of the lake though.
Well, yeah, it was like an underground like.
Yeah.
But look how she leaped out and they just landed like boom. And now we run. And I think now he's realizing the futility of kind of his war. It's like, even if you kill Kong...
Not really, because he...
But there's always going to be something else. Like, that's why you can't win. Because it's not just like, oh, destroy the one thing. There's always going to be something else.
Boom! Like paste. And I get this, but I'm like, bitch, you'd be running. There's no way in hell you would be stopping this long.
That's a pretty sweet shot.
I know, but still.
That's supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently that was the Gareth Edwards shot, he said, because you're seeing the monster fight through like a camera and then it cuts away.
Gonna fucking leave. And the fact that they made it.
You don't have to tell me twice. Crap. I'm waiting.
Shit.
Stand by.
How?
I know.
By letting you eat you first?
This way.
Maybe I can do a little dance.
I love the inside of their mouth, how it's just like a hellhole of just teeth.
See, I was just thinking, I don't like the inside of their mouth.
You don't?
Uh,
I mean, I don't want to be inside their
Is there a
mouth.
tongue in that mouth?
Yeah, you
I
didn't see
feel
it?
bad for that tongue, man.
Well, I'm sure it's reinforced.
yeah,
He's white fanging him. Get out of here. Go. I love how this moment
I know.
it goes completely against.
I love this moment too. It's the best moment in the movie.
You ready for the best moment of all time, Alex?
He's gonna save the day, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Boom!
Oh,
Not.
Just for not.
God damn it!
I love how they play like no. He literally threw away his life for no reason. I mean, the effort was there, but I love how they
let that happen.
they didn't let him be a
why-
hero. They're just like,
I was
no,
gonna say, that's why you
nice
don't be a
try.
hero.
Like
That
shit
sucks.
happens.
Especially with monsters, you don't try to be a hero.
That's a cool shot.
Where did he jump from?
This whole ending is the coolest.
I think he left from the ground, Alex.
No, I like to think he came from heaven.
I love right here. He's gonna try to do the jaw break, and then couldn't do it. I mean, I like how they're establishing too. This thing is technically stronger than him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Look, I like how Kong has to struggle in this movie. Like he's
well, I mean, and we'd probably believe that his parents were killed by one smaller than it.
well. Apparently, this is the one that killed.
The
I
parents.
think this is my favorite shot in the whole movie right here. Just this. But that's my point. If it takes Kong all that effort just to keep the small ones at bay, and this thing killed 2 of his kind. I love that.
Death before dishonor.
Again, I love how Kong uses weapons. Like it makes him unique in the way he fights.
He's got opposable thumbs.
Yeah. Well, Godzilla does too, but Godzilla is just a giant powerhouse that he just doesn't need to.
Yeah, but Godzilla, like, he knows he can't die. He knows he's just a badass. He doesn't need any of that shit.
Well, that's the thing. Godzilla's been apex for so long that he probably can't even remember a time when he wasn't. Whereas Kong,
Yeah, we'll just wait till he meets Kong.
I still want Godzilla to win. I think Kong should force Godzilla to kind of think, because I think Kong isn't going to try to beat Godzilla just.
Strength.
Yeah, because I think Godzilla's still going to be bigger and stronger, but Kong is used to fighting things stronger than him, so he knows how to deal with this. This is just a bitch slap. Kong is used to having to be creative when he fights because he's not automatically the biggest and the baddest. Which basically puts him in a completely different headspace than Godzilla. Whereas Godzilla is just used to just, okay, I'm just going to grab the thing and tear it apart. Oh, it looks so badass.
King Kong, breaker of chains.
It's so awesome.
That's terrifying.
Yep, that'd be the scariest thing I've ever seen that coming at you. Oh.
Ooh.
Again, I just love how he gets those ideas in his head. You're like, aha.
In the real eyeball.
Right in the eye.
Get it.
And then Hiddles.
I know.
I'm like,
oh, this is awesome. Ow. This is so badass. I love it.
time to choke a bitch.
Just, it's just such a fucking brawl, too. Oh, look at that. Right over the shoulder. Yep. Bam. By the way, I do want to point out the Skullcrawler threw Kong just with his tail, or her tail.
Yeah.
That's how fucking strong that thing is. Just hurled his ass. Boom. Look at that.
Look at it.
Look at that. Well, I need to make sure Alex is looking because apparently he hasn't been watching this fucking
I'm
movie.
paying attention to what people.
The screen's over here.
Okay.
Dude, that water would be so disgusting.
Probably not their worst concern at the moment.
Listen,
Oh my god, this water is so unsanitary.
you never know what's gonna swim inside of her.
The giant ape.
Oh god.
Just don't pee in the water.
Yeah, don't pee. Don't.
Well, she's knocked out. What if it just
pee.
happens?
Oh no, she must have peed in the water.
Yes.
He's not going inside of her though.
Oh god, ew.
Hey, you okay?
Oh, he's a sweetheart.
Ugh,
I love
Yes.
this.
Oh.
Going inside of it.
She is in that hand.
I was like, oh shit, I gotta get. Oh.
That's nasty.
And I love that's how he kills it. By accident.
Yeah. Oh. Wish I thought of that sooner.
I guess I win.
Just nasty.
He stuck his hand in that mouth.
Well, he didn't
All
need
those
to.
teeth.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
I know, there's so many teeth in that mouth.
And she would just be covered in.
Yeah, well, look at his
Yeah.
look at his whole arm. It's all like shredded up.
Some of that would have oozed in there. Let's be.
I mean, she
real.
would have probably just been crushed.
Well, that too, but
No, he made sure not to.
Yeah, you're right.
He's like, well,
because she's Captain Marvel, guys.
oh,
You know what's funny? Is that both Sam Jackson and her are going to be starring in the Captain Marvel movie, and it's going to be set in the 70s.
so is this just the prequel to?
Yes.
It's a direct sequel to Kong Skull Island.
I just love his fur.
I think it's set in the 70s. It's either 70s or 80s. I can't.
And for him, this is also probably some vindication because that's what killed his parents. So for him, it's like, all right, that's like a bit of a personal triumph. But it's also sad too because he's still alone. It's kind of like the problem with vengeance. Like once you get it, you don't get back what you were trying to get
What was
vengeance
taken,
for.
yeah.
You're still. I guess
we don't know that Kong knows that he just got vengeance.
Well, no, he knew that was the one because apparently, again, he saw, I guess, his parents get killed by the big one,
Yeah.
and that's why apparently he hates.
I don't know. I just think it's assuming a lot that
Well, no, they've said canonically
okay.
that he watched his parents get killed by them. That's why he hates the Skullcrawlers so much.
I thought it was because they try to kill him.
Well, apparently,
That'd be enough for me.
Well, apparently his whole species was always keeping them at bay, and then like at one point they all rose up and slaughtered, his kind. But like the big one specifically, like took out his parents.
Mm.
Like it has like this delirious feel afterwards.
So, first time he's gotten a girl outside of a library.
What do I do?
Some sunny day.
Oh, thank God, they're just birds.
They start shooting acid at their eyes. Now, here's what I'm wondering: what the guys in the helicopters are thinking right now.
Yeah, I was
like,
just thinking that too.
What the fuck? They all start shooting at him again.
They pick They pick the guys up, and then they're like, "Man, did you guys see that thing?"
They're bringing a whole other cast. It's just like similar
The
actors.
movie starts over again.
Yeah, it just starts
I was
over.
gonna say, I feel like this is a good reaction for him because think of the last helicopters that showed up.
So we are going to talk through the credits because I just remember this now. There is a post-credit sequence to this film, but before that all happens, this is this nice little happiness. I thought this was so sweet when I saw this.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It's very fairy tale, and normally I get down on movies for that kind of thing because like, oh, life works, but
John C. Reilly.
But yeah, because his character was just...
it isn't how life worked for most people on that island.
Yeah, but for his character, this was so, like... Yeah, this needed to happen.
I'm your dad.
Sideburns. Just think of how insane that would be.
I know.
See the feels.
I know, it was just so satisfying.
The feels.
I like how his character kind of gets retired too. Like he doesn't go and join Monarch. He's like, you know what? He served
He's
his
had enough of that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Damn.
he finished his tour of duty. He's done. He's come home. He's had enough monsters. Like
More than finished. Just
yeah. I love it. He gets to shake.
Son, I've seen some shit. Your sideburns look ridiculous.
I know, right? I was thinking that too.
The scariest thing I've ever seen.
And he gets his beard his hot dog.
Good for him. I don't know. This was so like yes.
Watching the Cubs.
And the Cubs are winning. Oh wait, this is not present day.
Yeah, this is when they won.
They won in the 70s?
Yeah.
I don't know this shit.
I hope so, because then they lose and he just becomes horribly depressed and that's the end of his character. Like, oh no.
They bring him back for present day when the Cubs win again. Then he's happy.
So yeah, I was hoping they would do a mid-credit sequence. What?
Gunpei Ikari was Miyavi? What?
Okay, so no. Before the 2016
Wait, Miyavi?
World
Yeah!
Series,
Like,
I kind of am disappointed in
Cubs
myself that I know
hadn't
who that
won
is.
I'm surprised, I have to say, but
since 1908.
holy shit.
Okay, so this was
I
so it was a big deal.
recognized him, but
1908.
yeah.
Damn.
I didn't know he was that big of like a... I just know he did music.
Yeah, no, he's like a huge singer.
Because yeah, I was pretty certain it was.
I mean, I guess
that
he's done
because
some
like
acting.
it was
I
a
just
huge deal when
didn't
they won
even-
the
When they won the World Series, yeah.
in 2016 because it had literally been over 100 years since they had won a World Series.
That's insane.
I'm sorry, we were having two very different conversations.
Yeah.
So the guy who played Gunpei was someone...
Yeah, he's like a huge.
He's a big,
singer.
like,
huge, like one of the biggest
Rock
singers
singer in Japan.
and he does acting too. But I never even.
He's like he's weird.
Well, it's cool. It's cool that they kind of gave him like a cool cameo. Obviously, in Japan, then when they would have saw that, they would have been like, "Oh shit!" Although for them, they're probably like, "Wait, you have like one of our biggest stars. He's got like a 5-second scene in the movie."
Yeah.
And I love all the
He's talked about the whole movie though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. I love all the cave painting stuff on the walls too.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, no, we have to sit through the entire credit sequence, but it is so worth it. Even though it's funny, we all got spoiled. We knew there was going to be this was going to be in credit sequence, and the director even says this too. Like, if you read the credits just before the post credit sequence, you see some names pop
Tijuana
up.
Scanlon?
What?
I don't know. Someone's name. Tijuana Scanlon? What the hell's that name?
You're not my Scanlon.
But no, actually, this was all over the internet. Like, the credits were what everyone was talking about, ironically, because they were saying, oh, they list 4 names, none of which are in the movie officially, yet they're in the credits, so we're going to probably get a post-credit sequence. Which I don't see why it was a big deal, because they'd already announced that these guys were going to be in the next movie, but... So, Alex, what did you think, since you were the only one who had not seen this movie?
That was way better than I thought it was going to be.
So you were expecting it?
I don't know. For some reason, I thought this was King Kong versus Godzilla, and that this is just going to be like in New York in like a city.
No, that's in 2020.
Yeah.
Like, I think there would have been more talk about that if that happened.
So I was just kind of waiting for Godzilla to show up.
The whole time? Like,
Towards the end, I was
movie?
like, all right, so he's not coming.
No, he's not. Well, they shot in 2014 that, like, they were like...
And I think we even, like, one of the first things that you and I talked about was that movie was coming at a future date.
Yeah, 2014.
Where were you?
I don't know, dude. I, for some reason, thought Godzilla was going to come up, okay?
That's what I was just discussing!
Again, I think he was initially the first one of the early drafts of the script. He was mentioned by name, but I know they were slowly weeding him out because they didn't want this to feel like Kong was in his shadow. They wanted this for better. They said whether you like the idea of a team up or a versus movie or not, they wanted at least this movie to stand alone as a Kong movie. That way, if you don't like the 2014 Godzilla movie, if you don't like any of the MonsterVerse movies, but just this one, you could just enjoy this movie as its own thing without it feeling like, oh, but I have to watch it. No, the director really wanted this movie to be its own standalone King Kong movie that could work itself into obviously the larger continuity, but didn't have to if you just wanted to take it at face value. So they really kind of were ambiguous with Godzilla. The most they came down to was John Goodman's, talking about the attack on his ship and, saying that, the hydrogen bombs, they were trying to kill something, which obviously in 2014 they said that those bombs were meant to kill Godzilla. So you knew what it was alluding to, but because they didn't say the name, if you didn't like 2014, you could just have been like, they were just talking about something. Obviously there's other big monsters because you see the skull crawler, so it's not impossible to think that there was something else there, whether you want to say it was Godzilla or not. But yeah, it was Godzilla. So I like both movies, so I'm more than happy to acknowledge their continuity with one another.
Yeah, I like how they introduced that, the world's kind of hollow.
Yeah.
And it's just probably going to pop up, right?
Yeah, big monsters are just all under there. So this film really does work. I mean, obviously this movie came out after 2014, but the way it's set up, you could watch this movie. I would almost actually recommend watching this movie before Godzilla because it really does work well as a setup. So when you see Monarch later on, how they're established, it makes more sense after seeing this movie. So this movie doesn't feel like forced in the sense of it being a prequel. It really feels like technically the movie that should have came first, but they didn't have the idea of making this a cinematic universe till after, or even including Kong into it. But it works. They did a good job. I think so, anyway.
No, they did.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
You'll have to give it a second watch to know for sure.
Yeah. I might have missed a few things.
And because I knew there was an end credit... I got spoiled what the end credit sequence was. People had posted, screenshots from, camera stuff. So I knew what it was. But I was like, oh, God, I was waiting. I was like, oh, how long are these credits? I knew it was coming, and it was just torture. I'm waiting for the credits to pop up that kind of give it away.
Those credits are taking forever.
Well, yeah, it's because
So
now you
many
know there's something
fucking-
coming. You're just like, oh shit.
Rude. How dare they?
I think that's why too. Now they do a lot of times the story based credit sequence is
Yeah.
usually the mid one, and then if they do a post one, it's more of a funny kind of throwaway one. That's how Marvel does it now. What's leading into the next movie is the mid credit sequence.
Well, there's the sound thing, so it should be coming up.
Yeah, and then if you want to stay to the very end for kind of a gag one, you know, but it's not like you have to stay for that one. Hurry, hurry! Getty Images, I've used them quite a bit.
Oh, come on.
Characters
here we go.
Of
Godzilla, King
Ghidorah,
Ghidorah,
Mothra, Rodan, created and owned by Toho.
Well, that line of credit cost this studio a lot of money.
Well, it wasn't just money they spent wasn't just for this movie.
No, but they spent a lot of money on those guys, so they probably wanted to get them in as quick as possible.
Okay, Alex, watch. Watch.
Don't look at the wall, look at the screen.
Yeah.
There we go. That first shot was the nuke.
Yeah.
Couple years.
How low?
Oh, I guess longer for them.
Yeah.
Couple decades.
I love all this. There is Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah.
All aboard the hype train.
I know, right? Look at that! Look at that! And there, the crescendo.
There he is, Alex.
There's your Godzilla cam. Alright, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace!
Peace.
Peace!